It's Shane with the Social Freedom Tribe. I want to do a video that's actually promoting fear or promoting social anxiety. And what I mean by that is when we have that, what I call voice of fear, that fear telling us a message of what to do. I don't want to create some kind of belief that fear must always be triumphed over or almost always never be listened to or just demolished. I want to create a video that just talks about what I feel about fear and just getting it to normal levels and understanding it and being able to shut it off sometimes and being able to listen to the messages that it gives us when it's relevant. And so just a quick note about it, I want to give an exercise, and you can choose to do this or not. An exercise that I've practiced for a while is when I'm just taking a walk outside, maybe I have some kind of goal where I'm walking to. I like to actually close my eyes while walking on the sidewalk. And so while closing my eyes, I'll notice that there's a certain amount of comfort level I have with a certain distance. There's a certain distance of walking with my eyes closed that feels comfortable, and then past that is pretty terrifying. And so what I do is, and what I recommend is really relaxing, or relaxing and trusting your fear and just opening your eyes and looking around. This might seem simple and easy, but it's just a really fascinating, intuitive practice for me to really close my eyes while walking, noticing the rising fear, and then when it gets to a point where it's really trying to tell me, hey, open your eyes, there might be some kind of danger, open my eyes and look around. And so I'm saying this because I want people to have some kind of balance between listening to their fear and not. I think that a lot of people, when it comes to fear, they overwhelm themselves and they try to push themselves to levels that are just not listening to that part of themselves, and that part of themselves overrides them, and just a lot of bad stuff happens. And I'm not promoting that. I kind of want just a more balanced way of looking at fear, of being able to be within comfortable levels, not overwhelmingly so, that we're challenging fear to overwhelming levels, and not staying completely safe so that we're not really growing or learning, but just being in this zone where it's comfortable and while also still be pushing us. And so to find that edge, this is a practice that I do, is when I'm walking on a sidewalk, I'll close my eyes while I'm walking and just feel into certain points. I just feel a lot of fear around. And I notice that when I just open my eyes at the right time and I practice feeling into what feels overwhelming and what doesn't, then I really start getting into a flow state with it. And it's really enjoyable for me. And this is just something I wanted to share. I also really want to, I might put this in another video, but something that is also scary is being present when you're in a conversation. And when I say that, I mean when we're not trying to think of the next thing. It's kind of scary. Like, will I actually have something to say when it comes time to them being done speaking and it being my turn? It might be overwhelming for some people, and it might be just right on the edge, and it might be just easy for some people. And so this is also a practice of noticing that with anything, I don't want people to overwhelm themselves or really bore themselves. But if that is in a comfortable range, I want to challenge people to just try to be present with somebody and really not try to think of something to say, and just take the risk that you might not have anything to say when it comes time to, it's your turn to speak. And at the same time, when it works, or when you do speak from this present place of you're not coming up with what to say until the very moment where it's your turn to start speaking, then it comes out. It comes out, in my experience, as just a better conversation. And it's so much more free, and you're able to adapt a lot easier. Everything you're saying is a lot wittier. You're able to, and when I say adapt, what I mean is there's a way that if we have a certain plan, then it's less adaptable than if there's no real plan other than when the moment to make a decision happens, you're making a decision. And so adaptability to me is how fast I can accept the change. So if I have a plan, a change interrupts it, and I can no longer follow the plan. If I'm sitting wallowing in this, oh, I really wanted to do this plan, and I'm sitting in those emotions, and I'm not accepting the reality that the plan is now destroyed and this thing happened, then I can't really adapt fast. So adaptability to me is fast acceptance and then fast decision making, which I believe is what happens with presence and not really planning and having a witty response by responding right when it's your turn. But at the same time, bringing it back to the point, I don't want people to overwhelm themselves with these practices and be not listening to their voice of fear. So that's why I'm really bringing this practice of walking on the sidewalk with the eyes closed and opening as soon as you're too afraid. Let me know your experience with this, and I love you guys. Have fun. Peace.